they're speaking, and the guy's like, the Uber driver's trying to tell him, like, I don't have any guns. She doesn't have any guns or drugs. Like, what are you looking for? So they start opening up like the Tylenol things. And I'm like, that's Tylenol, that's for headaches. Mind you, I'm speaking to them, not knowing if they know what I'm saying. And so I'm like, that's medication for your head. Like, this is like nasal medication. And so then they don't find anything. And then all of a sudden another guy comes up and he's like, we need to search again. But he says it in their language. So he's like, hey, now they need you to get out of the car. So they pour everything out of my bags. And I mind you, had 3 like big beach bags. So they pour everything out. They start opening everything. Then one comes over and the guy is like, oh, he wants to search you. And I'm like, no. And I had on a dress, and I'm like, no, no, you're not searching me. So the guy starts searching me, like my body, and I'm just like, and so I just start crying.
Now available, ebooks and e-workbooks to mentally and emotionally prepare you to visit, repatriate, or buy land in the motherland. And the authentic handmade kente cloth I got from Kumasi, Ghana is now a home decor line made by yours truly. Get a piece of the motherland until you can visit yourself. Click the link in the description box to visit my store.
Hey everybody, welcome. I am Leslie Jones. I have a special treat for y'all. Folks, this is family. This is my cousin, Tameka Reid. She went to Ghana for the first time last year, and we're going to talk to her, how she felt, what she experienced. Not only that, this was her first time in the motherland. So as you know, my mission on my channel is to bridge the emotional, educational, and cultural gap for those that want to visit, repatriate, and do business in the motherland. So folks, if you're part of the Small But Mighty crew and you have a story, whether it's repatriating, doing business, or just visiting, I want to share your story with the community. So thank you to my cousin. She's here and she's ready. So we didn't rehearse this or nothing. This is real time, real story, and just the truth about what she experienced in Ghana. Actually, my family, we haven't been to Africa in over 400 years, ever since the enslavement, transatlantic enslavement trade. Okay, so I was the first, and she's the second. So let's get right to it. Let's welcome Tameka Reid.
Hello.
Hey, cousin.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, cousin, thank you so much for doing this. I'm excited about this interview, but first I want to know, what were your thoughts? Like, what were your thoughts about Africa before even visiting Africa? Because, you know, we're kind of programmed to think a certain way.
At first it was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to Africa. Like, you know, when we're taught in school, it's like they don't have power, they don't have water, you know, there's just certain necessities that they need that they don't have, that we are just like, it's luxury for us. So it's like second nature for us, but not for them. But because my best friend is Congolese, she's she is the first one of her family to be born in America, but her siblings and her family, her aunts, her mom, her parents, everybody, grandparents, they're all from Congo. So since she was little, she's been going every year to Congo. So I kind of know what to expect. And it was just, I kind of just let all my expectations go, and then was just like, whatever comes. I really tried to go in there with no expectations. Like, I'm trying not to expect anything, and I'm gonna take everything in as I'm there and like live in the moment.
That alone puts you ahead of a lot of people, because a lot of us, especially the Black Americans, we ain't trying to go to Africa. That's like on no one's radar. Right. Yeah. And especially in the West Coast, you know, we're Cali people. We're a little different. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, we went for a wedding, so I knew there was going to be like glitz and glamour, but then I also knew that we were going to experience a bunch of different things. And so, yeah, I really didn't have any expectations. I mean, I was just going in with a clean slate and open heart.
Okay. And so when you landed, what was your first thoughts?
When I first landed, I was like, when I like touched the ground, and I was like, I'm here, I'm home.
And it's so funny because most people, when they first land, they have your feeling. like, oh my gosh, I'm here, let me kiss the ground. Some of them have like a spiritual transcending moment just walking off the plane. And I'm just like, mine was totally opposite.
I
I'm
think
like,
the whole time I had my best friends next to me, so I was just like, they were hyping me up, like, oh my gosh, you're here, you're here, you're here. And so I was just like, oh my gosh, like it was a real moment because me and you had been talking about it for so long. Like I told you, I was like, I'm gonna be the first one to come visit. I'm gonna be the first one to come visit, and I was.
and you literally were the first one to come visit, and
Yeah,
you were true to your word.
I try to be.
Why Ghana?
Honestly, in March, I woke up. My best friend was like, "Hey, my sister bought us tickets to Ghana," and I'm like, "When are we going?" And she's like, "Oh, well, there's a wedding," and I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, give me the dates because I'm gonna have to request off work," and so she ended up giving me the dates, and almost didn't make it because I had to get the yellow fever shot, and then I had to find like my vaccinations. And with me living in Dallas, it was like it was just difficult to get. And so last minute I was able to get everything, and then I made it. But that's really the reason,
Ooh.
because my thing was I just wanted to go to Africa in general. It just made sense because they were already going for a wedding, and I was able to go.
And how was the visa process? Because it's drama with the visa process in Washington, D.C. with Ghana. So how was that for you?
Um, See, I'm spoiled. My best friend made it easy, so I just sent her all my information, and she put all of it together, and then I just had to print it all out. I went to the post office, took everything, signed it, paid, and sent it to the embassy in Washington D.C.
I love that you said that because it's different when you have help and you have
Yeah,
connections already on the motherland, right? And that's why I didn't want to, I didn't say anything to you, right? I was like, I
right.
want you to experience Ghana for what it is because my experience was totally different. I went like a naive blind man,
Yeah,
no connections, no nothing. And so my experience was different. But because you went over there and you had connections already, seamless process. So, folks, if you want to go to the motherland, you better have a connection over there and to
yeah,
ease everything.
yeah. Because they
Okay.
endorsed me and everything. I had to like provide their like their wedding invitation and all that other stuff, and saying that they were going to host me and where I was staying, and it was a lot. But I didn't have to do any of it. I literally had to sign my name and pay. So
Yes. Hate the money.
again,
and
we're spoiled over here a little bit.
and how do you feel about the yellow vaccination? Because some people are like, if I got to get all these shots, I'm not going.
I mean, I got the shots when I was little, and I'm fine. And then I got both COVID shots and the third one. I'm fine. So it literally felt like what is that? The what is that shot when you get in the winter? Like
Flu shot?
yeah, it literally felt like a flu shot. I went to
Mm.
CVS. They did it, what, 5 minutes, and that was it. Like I
Now,
didn't feel.
how much did you pay for that at CVS? Because when I got my yellow fever shot when I landed, and that was $20 back in November 2020. What did you pay?
$20. Uh, I made 175.
Oh, okay. So money tip, get your yellow vaccination. If you qualify not to get it, there's some things you can qualify to where you don't have to get the yellow vaccination. But if you get the yellow vaccination, I would get it done upon arrival because I only paid $20. So
I didn't even know that was an option. So yeah, but yeah, I
we
paid
learn
175.
something new every day. Okay.
Literally.
175, $20, you guys choose. How was Ghana portrayed to you in social media before you came? Like, what was your expectations?
Honestly, like looking at Ghana from like Instagram, it's like the hot spot of West Africa. So you would think it's like the Miami or like the Las Vegas of the United States.
Mm.
Um, it portrays like beaches, day parties, nightlife. That like everything is just kind of like you're just going to Vegas. There's roads. It doesn't give anything that is like, wait, I'm not in the United States anymore. So literally, social media. I mean, certain parts it's a lie, and certain parts you're like, okay, that's correct.
Oopie. Thank you for your honesty. No, because people need to know this because it helps manage the expectations. Because I truly believe, especially us that's going to the motherland after 400 years, we should have an excellent experience.
Right.
Okay. Not saying that everything has to be perfect. The roads have to be perfect. But we do need to know the truth.
Right.
That will help us when we land and we're like, what the hell is this? You know, it will help.
Literally.
Right? It will help, and then we can have a more positive experience. So I'm glad you shared that because everything on social media,
it's not real.
It's not real. It's an illusion.
Like no one shows the bad things.
True. Just like anything else, but at the same time, like we're dropping money to go over there. We're dropping thousands of dollars just to visit. So let's tell the truth, huh?
That part.
Who'd you go with? So I know you said you went with your best friend, but who was you guys on the same flight, or how was the whole transportation process there?
Yes. So from the States, we flew to DC and we met up with her sister. And then in DC, we all caught a flight together. And then our flight, we had a 20-hour layover in Morocco. So we got a hotel room and then we got to go visit the city, went to breakfast, or we went to like lunch and dinner. And then we went like to a little spot and had tea. And then we went back to the airport and then we caught our flight from the airport to Ghana. And that was like a 6-hour flight.
So that 20-hour delay, did you get that hotel and the tour free because it was a long delay in between?
No, because we intentionally booked it that way. And so she used her points to get the hotel.
Got you. And I cut you off. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
No, you're good. And then once we got to Ghana, we had to obviously, go through the whole process. And once we got there, we were getting our bags first. And the guy who sponsored us was there. And so he met us as we're getting our bags and he was like, no, I got it. He's like, just stand right there. He grabbed all like 20 of our luggages. It was embarrassing. I'm like, we shouldn't have traveled that.
I can't. No way.
I'm video. I'm like, this is embarrassing. Why are we like this?
Me and my one backpack for 2 months.
I had 3 luggages, like big ones.
But this is an excellent point because first of all, you had a connection already. You went in a group. Okay. The person that sponsored you guys was there waiting for you at the airport. So it wasn't like you had a connection at every step.
Yeah. And
that is so important when visiting the motherland, especially the first time. So you went with your best friend, your best friend's sister, met you guys in DC. You got there, met with your sponsor, and he took care of every transportation. So who did the transportation?
So I don't know how he fit all our luggage in that car. It was like a little like Toyota, like a Corolla. We were like, how are we gonna fit in this? But he made it work. You'd be
surprised what they do to make things work.
Girl, he made it work. And so he drove us to our Airbnb, which was also provided to us through the groom who was getting married, which is technically it's her nephew, if in their like aspects. And so he made sure we had an Airbnb and we had a driver. And so our driver, when we got to the Airbnb, he like let us in, gave us like the keys and everything, showed us where everything was at, and then basically gave us his WhatsApp. We created a group, and then we just kind of gave him our schedule as we went, and he was just available the entire time we were there.
So it kind of sounds curated, but then independently planned too, like a mixture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it wasn't like everything was planned, but for the most part, all the important things were covered from the beginning.
Correct.
So it wasn't like you guys had a designated schedule, but you guys knew what you were doing.
Yes. Yeah. So we gave him we had a rough draft of what we wanted to do throughout the week. And then we gave it to him and was like, this city, like what makes sense. And then we also had to figure out the fact of we were there for the wedding. So we had to make sure those things were done. Like we did makeup appointments, hair appointment, nails, and our toes. And like those were the essentials. And then around that, we kind of just planned other things.
Got you. So independent travel, but in a group with connections. Smart. I just wasn't that smart.
We learn.
Seriously. And so what was the first thing you guys did as an activity when you landed, got comfortable in your Airbnb? What'd you guys do after that?
We went to dinner at the AFRIKIKO.
Ooh, yep.
Literally, when I say it was, yes, oh my gosh, it was everything. I had Cajun salmon pasta. It was so fire. The drinks were bomb. One thing we didn't know was that it was like a hot spot in Ghana. So we needed reservations. We didn't have that. And then we seen 3 guys at the bar and they offered their seats to us. So we sat at the bar the whole time. And then they kind of talked to us. They paid for some of our stuff, which was cool. Like, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. And then so we were there for the first night, which that was probably one of my favorite nights. Like, if I could went there, I would have.
How were the men there? Because that sounds nice, what you just said.
It had an older crowd. It was a lot of older men, but they were all like super sweet and nice. Like they weren't like pushy and like just like give me your number. Like they actually like held conversations. The fun fact about that is the guy that owns it is white. And so he was behind the bar. And first I was like, oh, bartender, blah, blah. And then the guy, his name's Gus. He's a realtor in Ghana. So that's the guy who we're talking to. And he was like, oh, that's the owner. And we were like, oh. And he was asking us like, oh, where are you from? We were telling him, and then he started giving us free drinks. And then the night kind of just like got away from us from there.
And then
Ghana won us 0. Like we lost a bunch of stuff. It was bad. Like,
oh, y'all was drinking.
Yeah. So we lost like name brand purses, Prada glasses, AirPods, ID, debit card, credit cards. Like it was bad. Thank God we had a driver because all we had to do is find his car and he took care of the rest.
Can you imagine if you had to get Uber or Bolt out there in that state? I don't even know what you guys would have did.
No, I don't remember leaving. That's the crazy part. Like we were going through our pictures and we were like, okay, so we have the person stuff here. But in this picture, like 2 pictures later, it's like nowhere to be found. And we're like, so what happened between these 2 pictures? And like the pictures are timestamped like minutes apart. So it's like, what did we do? Did we get robbed? Or like, what happened? Night 1. We probably there for like 8 hours at this point. Like,
wow, night 1. Because I mean, I was so happy to see you. Well, you first of all, and you were the first one that said you're gonna come, and you did. And then like I wasn't there by myself anymore. I'm like, yes. It felt so good to have someone there that like knows you and loves you, and that you can trust.
Right.
It just makes everything so much better. So that's why I'm so glad you're able to go with your best friend and her family, because that just made your experience just took it up to a whole nother level. Yes, for you. Is there anything else you want to talk about regarding the nightlife in Ghana?
I will say that the nightlife, it's true. Like every place we went to at night, like every night we obviously partied. Like we partied for 9 days straight. Every night it was lit. We didn't really get to experience any of like the day parties per se, because every time we went to something, it wasn't we're like, where's the people? There is no people in the day. It's like everybody comes out. So like with being with my friends, like we obviously had a good time being out in the day and eating and stuff, but nightlife was where it's at. Like nightlife is true on social media for sure.
Like, okay. And so what about the food on night 2 and 3?
I don't remember the rest of the food.
You really didn't dive into the authentic Ghanaian food? You kind of kept it like touristy?
At the wedding, yeah. I mean, I had Domino's while I was there.
Girl, you kept it American.
I said, pizza, please.
You kept it American. You're like, where's the American food?
Yes, I had a lot of fruit. We went to the market, so we bought a bunch of stuff. So we snacked a lot in between. But yeah, I don't really remember the rest of the food. I mean, we did eat Canadian food at the wedding.
Do you remember how that was?
Good. The food was actually good. I mean, it's very similar to Congolese food. So I eat Congolese food since I was 5. Like when I'm with her family, that's all they cook. So it's like if I'm hungry, I'm eating. So it was very similar. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Which tourist sites did you go to?
So we went to the plantation, the slave pen. Is it the castle?
Yeah, the Elmina Castle.
Yes, we went there. Driving there, I slept until we got a little closer. I ended up waking up because that's when like the roads kind of get not paved anymore. And so going in, it's like you're at the market, and so that is a experience in itself. It's like downtown LA times a million. Because driving through downtown LA can be overwhelming, but that I being in the car, I was overwhelmed because like even though you're driving, people are coming up to your car and like if your window's down, they're reaching in, they're trying to stop you, they're jumping in front of the car, they're knocking on the windows, like they try to open the door, and I'm like, please make sure the doors are locked. Like that was very overwhelming. And then it also just made me very appreciative of just like life in general because there's little babies out there. It's 100 degrees. It's all dirt, like they're little hut houses. You could tell there's no running water over there. It's overcrowded. Everybody's on top of each other. It was a lot to take in. Then when you park, it's just like, okay, we're cool. Let's get out. And as soon as we opened our door, street vendors like rushed us like no other. Like you really have to just be firm and be like, no. And the crazy part is our driver was like telling us like, hey, just say no, just say no, just say no. Like they'll keep dropping the prices unless it's something that you really want, just say no. So some of the people that was with us, they ended up buying stuff from the vendors and like, it was like name bracelets and stuff. So they gave them the names and by the time we came back out, they had the stuff ready for them and then they paid. But that's overwhelming as well because it's like, and like, they really don't like to take no for an answer. And so
they trying to eat. That's why.
And I get it, but for me, I had no cash. So I was just like, sorry, like there's nothing I can do at this point. I left all my cash back at the Airbnb.
You know, you blessed. You didn't bring cash.
As soon as you step out, also like the smell is overwhelming. So in the car, it went from smelling like just regular, like fresh air, but then you step out and not only is it hot, but it had this smell of like fish and blood and like ocean.
So you're right there, and it's a fishing community. Yeah.
So you're just like, okay, like this is insane. And then it's just like on top of the fact that I know that thousands and thousands and thousands of my ancestors, died here. So just it makes it even more real because you're just like, I get this is where the fish market is, but it makes it like the smell of death, if that makes sense.
Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah, because I was like, okay.
And that's before you even got in to take the tour. You're already feeling that way.
This is like,
so you're already feeling like the spirit of the place.
Yes, at the entrance. So we go in, we pay, and they give us a tour guide. And then we were paired up with a group. I believe they were Dutch. So that's even crazy because the Dutch people are the ones who came in and tried to take slavery. And there was a Dutch family who we were on the tour with. So it was very awkward.
Wow, that's awkward.
We were like, if you could have seen our faces, all of us were like, what the heck? So then we're going to the tour. We're taking pictures and like it's very quiet because everybody's like taking in what they're saying. They like have you stand in the rooms where the women were, have you like sit down, have you like try the chains on and how heavy they were, try to pick up different things. It's like super sandy. Again, a lot of places are dark, and then it's just like one room was probably like the size of like 2 half bathrooms, and there were like 20 women will be in here, and it's like, what? Like how? Make it make sense. It just that was a lot in itself. And then we
it's funny because the Dutch, the family you're with, it's just another day for them. Right? And you're feeling all this stuff in your mind and your spirit. And they're just like, oh.
Literally. And you can tell it was like that too, because of like the questions. Like none of us were like asking questions, but they were like asking questions, and we're just like, why are you asking that? Like, and the questions kind of was like throwing salt on the wound, and it was just like this is not the time. Like if you want to know, kind of just go home on your own and learn.
So disconnected.
So disconnected. I think one of the biggest things I took away from there was that Amazing Grace was written there.
The song. Oh yeah, because the slave owner wrote that, and all of a sudden realized that he doing the wrong thing. Oh my God.
Yep. And the crazy
That's
part
crazy.
Is not only did he write that, but he was like their pastor. So it's like a lot of them, yes, they were enslaved, but they also were under the guidance of their pastor. So it's just kind of like a double-edged sword. And then like before you leave, they basically were like, oh, walk through this room, and it takes you into this like dark room, and they're like, it's the room of no return. And so that room, it used to lead into like a door that was literally like drop zone ocean. But because of, global warming and how like things have shifted, like it was just land there, but it used to be water. So it just lets you know that once people went into that room, they were never seen again because they were killed. Like, of course they couldn't swim, so they drowned. And so we left there and we went maybe like a mile away to like a beach resort, and we ended up having dinner, which I do remember that food, and it was fire. I ended up having like some type of fish. It was great, like fish and rice. It was great. But the crazy part was when we got there, I was like, it doesn't smell. And I'm like, we're literally like in the same facility, but it doesn't smell. And it's just like, there's hundreds of thousands of our ancestors in that water. And I just feel like their souls are just still there resting. Like that's how it literally feels.
Wow.
So that was the only really like touristy thing that we really got to do that we had time for. We know we're going to go back. We just haven't set a date because my thing is like, if I go back to Africa, I want it to be a different place before I start double backing on different places.
What was the best part about Ghana?
The best part was the traditional. Okay, was the weddings in general. They had two weddings. So they had the traditional wedding, which is we all wore like one side of the family wore one pattern, and then the other side of the family wore another pattern. And so we had our dresses made out there. So one of the days we had to actually go to the tailor, and she fit them to us and then sewed us in them, and then we kind of was able to take them off. I ended up actually being in the wedding, which was
that's what happened to me in Nigeria. That happened to me in Nigeria.
They're like, oh, come on. And I'm like, no. And they're like, yeah. They're like, this weekend you're an auntie too. And so I had to march in and
I was in the front, girl. Like
me too, because I was tall and I was like, oh my gosh. So that was fun. And then during the wedding, they were speaking French. So my best friend was translating the whole time for me. Bless her heart. And then there was a part where we all actually had to go up in front of the ceremony, and her dad was like praying because her dad is like their minister. And so then he was like, where's all the single men? My daughters need husbands. And I'm like, I said, it's
thank
you to marry a son. He's like, stand up. Like, my daughters need husbands. And I'm like, okay, thanks.
Because marriage is big, and they're still traditional over there, right? And like,
and then with our age, it's like we should. If we were in Africa, we would already be married.
A bunch of kids.
Yeah, for sure. And so that was fun. And then obviously, like the dancing and the eating was everything. They did a bunch of like different chants, and in my mind, I'm like, I never want to go home. Like it was so different. Like we party, but like they party, and then it's like the way they party and like the traditions and everything, like with the drums and like everything. It was something like I was like, I want to experience this over and over and over. Like if I have kids, like we have to go to an African wedding. Like we have to, like they have to see this or like experience this for themselves. Like it's something that everyone should experience. It just felt so calming and like just natural. So that was fun. And then at the white wedding, which is like a regular wedding that we would have here in America, she wore a white gown, he wore his suit, and then we all wore like regular dresses. That was even more lit than the traditional wedding. We literally danced. Yes. Oh my gosh. Like it was great. Like I'll send you some stuff. It was everything. Like literally everything. Like the decoration, it was so beautiful. Even then that food was great too. Kind of the same food, but it was good. And then they obviously had open bar there. And it was right across the street from an Asian hotel. It was like a luxury hotel. And so it was very convenient because I was barefooted. I was like, my feet hurt. So I was like, yes, just walk across the street to our room. And then that night we went out after. But yeah, I think that was the best part. It was the traditional wedding.
Wow. So being part of the culture and being the people.
Yeah.
The people and the culture. Random question. What do you think made that different than like a wedding we go to for our family? What do you think is the difference from their wedding and our weddings?
I feel like with their weddings, they're very in tune with their ancestry. So you hear a lot, like I wish I knew the language because it would have been more in depth. Obviously, you know, she's fastly like interpreting. And then even like the bride's family, she's half white, but her dad moved to Ghana when he was younger. So he like incorporated the like language. So the whole family, they all knew how to speak. So throughout the wedding, they spoke a bunch of different languages. So I didn't really get like the bigger picture, but they were just paying homage to their ancestries. Like even with the chants they were doing with the drums and the way that everybody was speaking, and they all literally not only gave thanks to God, but they gave thanks to their ancestries and people who came before them, and they honored them. And it's like, we don't do that in our weddings. And so that like plays a huge role because people are sitting there and they're like very tuned in, and everyone's like on the same like wavelength, all at the same time.
Frequency. Yeah. And we're, you know, especially through our religion, we're taught not to do that. And that's demonic. Like you don't honor the dead, you know?
Right.
And that's one thing that we've lost through colonization is tapping into our spirit and reaching back, right? And being able to touch and to remember and to spiritually just, you know, transcend to that point to where, no, we're still connected to our ancestors. Yeah. Wow.
Like they did this whole drum thing and all the guys was up there and they were all like this. And then the women joined in and I was sitting there like in tears. Like, this is so beautiful. Like I'll send it to you. It was so beautiful. Like, I don't want to go home.
Right. Because you're just like enveloped in the spirit of the place.
Yeah. It was beautiful.
Wow.
That was the best. That was the best part. Hands down.
Dang. I'm glad I asked that question because I'm like, wait, what's the difference? But that's deep. That's deep, cousin. Wow. And so what would you say was the worst experience in Ghana?
Whew, okay.
Let's be real.
So I didn't get my hair braided. And I think the second day I didn't need to go early for my makeup appointment. I was just gonna miss it. I was like, I want to sleep. And so I was like, I'm gonna stay home. And so the driver was headed back to get me at the Airbnb because he had dropped off Moisa and the other girls. And there was so much traffic, which traffic out there, like you think LA traffic is bad. Yeah, no, that traffic, like LA traffic has nothing on Ghana traffic. So it was like, I'm not gonna make it. So they're like, oh, just jump in an Uber. And I'm like, at this point, I kind of just would rather miss the, you know, festivities, or like, I just don't feel comfortable. And they're like, no, you're fine. Like, you're fine. The driver's like, you're good, you're good. I'm like, okay. So I call Uber to take me to the hotel where they're at, where they're getting their makeup done. And I'm in the Uber, and mind you, I have like a beach bag. I have 3 beach bags. I have mine, Moisa's, and her sister's because it has all their stuff in it for the wedding. So they have like makeup, underwear, clothes, money, chargers, just travel essentials. And so what people don't tell you on social media is that like the later it gets, they have traffic stops, but they're like every other block. And so in my mind, I'm already praying like, please just don't let me like get stopped at all. Like just make it, please.
The checkpoints.
Yes, checkpoints. And so we made it to one, and the first one we came to, and they're talking to the Uber driver, and he's basically like talking to them in whatever language they're speaking. And then they were like, oh, they need to check the car. There's guns. And I'm like, I looked at the Uber driver. I said, well, I don't have a gun. And he's like, well, they think there's guns and drugs in here. And I'm like, well, I don't have a gun or drugs. And so they were like, okay, we need to look through your stuff. And I'm just like, okay. So they have us pull over, and they start going through the bags, and they don't find anything. I had like a couple $1,000s on me because at the weddings, you spray money. And so I put the money inside of my purse that has like a little zipper, and I try to hide the zipper so you can't tell that it's there. So they're going through our stuff. They don't really look, they look at my bag, but they don't see anything. And then they're speaking, and the guy's like, the Uber driver's trying to tell him, like, I don't have any guns. She doesn't have any guns or drugs. Like, what are you looking for? So they start opening up like the Tylenol things. And I'm like, that's Tylenol, that's for headaches. Mind you, I'm speaking to them, not knowing if they know what I'm saying. And so I'm like, that's medication for your head. Like, this is like nasal medication. And so then they don't find anything. And then all of a sudden another guy comes up and he's like, we need to search again. But he says it in their language. So he's like, hey, now they need you to get out of the car. So they pour everything out of my bags. And I mind you, I had 3 like big beach bags. So they pour everything out. They start opening everything. Then one comes over and the guy is like, oh, he wants to search you. And I'm like, no. And I had on a dress, and I'm like, no, no, you're not searching me. So the guy starts searching me, like my body. And I'm just like, and so I just start crying. I'm like bawling my eyes out. I'm on the phone. I'm calling Moisa, and I'm like, where's the driver? Or like, where's like someone that's like from here? So I'm like screaming and crying. And then all of a sudden they hear a guy that's from here, and he's talking to me. Mind you, he's one of the people that's sponsored. And so he starts talking, and then they're like, oh, no, don't cry. And I looked and I was like, so you guys know English? I'm like freaking out on them. And I'm like, the whole time you guys were acting as if you didn't know what I was saying, and acting as if I had guns. And I was like, I'm literally going to a wedding and you guys are doing this. So they're like, then now they're starting to try to play like Captain Save-A-Ho, and they're trying to like clean it up as if what happened just didn't happen. And I'm like, you guys, I'm on the phone. I'm like, you guys are touching me. You guys poured all my stuff out for what? So then at this point, they find my purse with the money. And I'm like, and that's my money. Do not take it. Like, I'm like going off.
At this point, you switched. You switched into like survivor mode.
Yes, because I'm just like, you do know English. So now I can really go off because this is ridiculous. Like, you said you were looking for one thing. Now what are you really looking for? Because looking in a Ziploc bag, that's clear. You can see what's in there. Like, there's nothing. And then so I'm glad that I didn't have Canadian money, because I feel like if I did, they would have taken it, because there's no way to prove where they got it. But if they would have took a lot of American cash, they would have had to exchange it somewhere. And then that would have been where'd you get this American money from? Like, who did you take it from? And so they put all my stuff on the chair. I had to put it all back, and they finally let us go. It was probably like a good 20 minutes. So I'm sitting there like distraught. And then the Uber driver's like trying to calm me down. I cried like a good 30 minutes all the way to Moisa. And when I got there, I like ran to her and I'm like bawling. And then they felt bad because they're like, we shouldn't have left you. But then I'm like, you guys didn't know this was going to happen. Like, it just was it was unfortunate that it happened to me, because they felt bad because they're like, we don't want your first time to be like this. Like, we don't want this country to, tear you down and not want you to come. Yeah. So they didn't want my first experience to be bad, because it's like, I can go back and tell everyone in America, and then that stops the American dollar.
But here's the thing. It is what it is. That's what it is.
Yeah.
What are the chances of that happening your first time? Just like me. It is like that. And there's no way anyone can hide it, because that's the way it is. The second they saw you alone with your accent, female, unmarried, you're prime bait.
Yep.
And that's why I'm so glad you went as a group. And the second you went on your own, drama happens,
Yep.
And so go ahead.
And it only turned because they heard a familiar voice on the phone. So they were like connected to someone here.
A man speaking their language. Don't get me started.
And so when I got to the hotel, the groom who like they sponsored me, he was asking me like what not Airbnb, sorry, what Uber was I in, give him the information, and then he contacted the Uber driver to try to figure out who it was, and they actually like I'm not sure if anything came of it, but they were searching for the people who it was. Cause I showed them where we were at and everything. Cause he was like, he was highly upset. And then they were very apologetic. And once everything got started, I was fine. But I was like, I don't want to go on Uber ever again. Like, let's go with the driver, because when they stop him, they're like, okay, you're good. But as soon as we were in Ubers, I was like, I don't want to do this Uber thing again. Like, I was every stop we went through after that, I was very like, put me in the back seat. Like, I don't even want any contact. Like, I'm good. Like,
right.
Yeah.
So people, if you're watching, you haven't been to the Motherland yet, go in a group. And if you can get a driver, hire a service, avoid that. Because there's been some crazy stories with these Uber drivers and these Bolt drivers. It's crazy. When I got knowledgeable, I was like, oh, I'm going to have, and I started building relationships. I stopped taking public transportation. Like, it'll have to be something, like I have no other option. I'll take a Trotro or something, but no.
Yeah.
But you got out safe. You got out safe, cousin. Anyway, we're not going to dwell on it, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Don't go alone, folks, especially if you're a single Black woman. You are prime bait. So go in a group, hire a driver, and I'll take care of that. Yeah. So, okay. Would you go back to Ghana for a vacation?
Yes, I will go back, but it has to be after I've already visited a couple other African countries first. But there's things that, like you said, like the canopy bridge thing that I want to do. And there's a bunch of other places, like especially nightlife, that I want to hit.
Culture is such a big thing. And I know a lot of people say, oh, Black Americans, you guys don't have culture. To an extent, I understand that, right? Because, hello, we were ripped away from it 400 years ago. We had to, not only that, but we built the damn country, okay?
Right.
And basically, the culture that you see now is the culture that we made from scratch, right?
Right.
But it's just, colonized. But I think what you said was so deep, because it's the ancestry connection that we're missing. And that's where the culture comes from. So I don't even think it's Black Americans, you don't have culture. I'm like, no, we have culture. We're just missing that ancestral connection because of colonization. Right? And I think that's what we're missing. Yeah. Ooh, that was a good point. Would you encourage others to go to Ghana?
Yeah, I would encourage others to go, but like the key points, it's like have a sponsor there, so that makes it easier. Get a driver. It's like $20 a day. I would say, really know, like either stay in like one of the like built up hotels there, or get like one of the Airbnbs where like the Congress people live. Like, well, that's where we were.
Right.
And then, I just be sponsored. Know people. Go in a group. Don't go by yourself.
And go solo.
Don't be Dora the Explorer. Guilty. Don't be Dora the Explorer, and then like do your due diligence, know where you're gonna go. And if you do take Uber, especially being a group, have guys with you, because it's a less chance of what's gonna happen to me. I would. I besides that one incident, I did enjoy myself.
What is your biggest takeaway of going to the Motherland for the first time?
My biggest takeaway is that we're spoiled here. I think that like our trials and tribulations don't compare. Like, yes, you go to LA and you see like Skid Row, or you go to other places and you see like the homeless people there. But even that, it's too like, it's just our trial. Like there's nothing that I can go through in America that could compare me to something or what someone's going through like in Africa. Because yes, like Ghana is more, what's the word?
Developed compared?
Yeah, it's more developed, But it's like the things that you see and you're just like even like when I said we're going to the castle, it's just like those people really live like that, like day in and day out. Like if they do not get up and go sell things at the market, then they don't eat. You see like mothers carrying babies that are carrying stuff, or you see mothers with, I saw a lady with, she had 12 packs of sodas on her head, carrying a baby in her arms, and then her toddler was carrying sodas on their head. And it's just like I should never complain, like ever. Literally,
Right.
like there's nothing that I can go through here that would make me put myself in anything that they're going through.
Right.
There's that. And then another takeaway is that there's a lot of things that like us being like Black Americans can really learn from the Canadians. Like not only are they very, they're all about like family is huge to them, but like their ancestries, like they grew up being connected to that. And I get that's something that was taken away from us, but it's something that we should all like do our due diligence to get back to that. With learning our ancestries, like, you know, doing the DNA tests and finding out where we're from and connecting back to our roots, because like, even though they're less fortunate or, you know, some of them are poor or just don't have, they're still happy and they were still nice. And it's like, you could look at them and it's just smiles. Like I didn't meet anyone that was rude besides like the police. Like everyone else was just happy to be living.
Yep. And that's exactly how I felt when I came back my first time. I said, I need to stop complaining. I'm blessed. And our ancestors did a lot for us to have what we have. So even though as of right now, we wouldn't wish that on anyone, but we definitely wouldn't wish what our ancestors went through on them. And so I'm glad our ancestors went through what I'm not happy about how they got there, but the fight they did to have what we have now, that blue passport, so we can go back and forth and, which African country we're going to go to next, or which Asian country we're going to go to next. That is a big deal. We are blessed. And thank you, ancestors, for creating that for us. They literally died and bled so we can have these privileges now to go back and take a DNA test and stuff. But I definitely came back grateful, just like you. Oh, okay. So overall, I purposely did not tell you anything, right? Because I wanted you to experience Ghana, not using my experiences, right?
And you said that all the time. I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to say anything. But now after your experience, I feel like I should have said something. Because and that's why I sent you my book. I was like, I should have sent you my book before you went. But now I sent it to you after. So now that you've read the book and you took the quiz within the book, do you feel that would have prepared you to handle that police situation better, or just Ghana overall?
Honestly, yes, because in your book, it literally states like you have to be prepared for these stops every couple blocks, like these checkpoints. And I I had no idea that was even a thing. Like I didn't, and it's like, what are you stopping us for? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, cause they're not doing checks every time. They're just stopping, roll your windows down. Let me see who's in there. What's in your purse? What's that? And it's just like you guys are looking for something, or you're looking for a reason to make something, make up something. But if I would have known that, I think I would have went into it like a little bit more lighthearted. Because every time we got stopped, I was like, even before that incident happened, but that was just because it's like, why are we being stopped? Like, there's we're literally on this road and we're going to dinner, or we're going to breakfast, we're going to lunch. And it's just like you saw us yesterday.
Right.
Why are we being stopped again?
And that goes to the trauma that we experience. Not necessarily us, but what we see on the television, people getting shot by being pulled over by police and stuff. So our mentality is totally different. That's why in my book, I said, are you EQ ready? Are you emotionally ready to handle these things? Because we have 400 years of trauma that we're carrying in our bodies. And so when we go over there and we get stopped by the police, it's a whole different mentality. Like, we might die. Like,
Yeah.
you know? So
I think it's like, I want to make it back home. So like, whatever you're going to just let my person go. Like, if you want all my stuff, cool. If you want my money, cool. I just want to make it back to home. Cause at that point, if anything worse would have happened, I'd be like, I'm going to the airport and going home.
Right.
Because like, it's not worth it. But you do need to, like, I say everyone needs to be prepared for that, because I've never been to any other country and they've done that. Like, I've been to Australia, I didn't see not one police out doing that stuff. And I go to Mexico all the time and they don't stop you like that. And it's just like, what is this for?
And since it's a regular thing, that's why I put that book together for my community so they can prepare. So instead of being so like afraid, like, this is what they do. And that can help you with your experience instead of like, that's the motherland, I ain't going back, you know? But if you know it's part of their culture, you can handle it better. So, sorry. And I must say, whenever I've been to Ghana 6 times, and the 6th time I was there with you, and that was the first time I even saw Ghana, the nightlife, because I've only gone there for business. I'm like, y'all gonna give me my money, like, you know? So you even helped me with my mentality, because I was able to see the fun side, you know, of Ghana. And then to be there with you and your friends, I was more at ease and comfortable. So thank you for just inviting me over to you guys' Airbnb and let me stay there and eat and be in the AC and the Wi-Fi, right? Upgrade from a coconut hut, okay?
Hot water.
Hot water. So yeah, so thank you so much, cousin, because I don't think you even know how much you blessed me that trip. Like, it's just, yeah.
I'm just glad I was able to see you, because it would have sucked being there and you being like, well, I'm too busy, or me being like, I can't have time. I'm just glad it like all aligned, because it did make my trip so much better. Because yes, I have my friends, and you know, me and Moise have been friends since we were 5, and then her sister and her sister's best friends have known me since I was 5. But it's like nothing like your blood, and it's both experience these things firsthand together. So
yes.
I'm see you too.
Love you.
Love you too.
Join our free newsletter for land updates, group trips, and international real estate connections. Link in the description box. Now available, ebooks and e-workbooks to mentally and emotionally prepare you to visit, repatriate, or buy land in the motherland. And the authentic handmade kente cloth I got from Kumasi, Ghana is now a home decor line made by yours truly. Get a piece of the motherland until you can visit yourself. Click the link in the description box to visit my store.